Good morning, St. Paul. This is your Un-Bougie foodie, Wesley Wright, coming to you on, again, another wonderful Saturday. This is going to be a really beautiful weekend, folks, so I hope you all are getting out there and enjoying this wonderful weather. Oh my gosh. Um, yeah, so much to do, even if you're just to get out and enjoy yourself. What, 50, 60 degrees? This is crazy. But I love it. Love every moment of it. I hope you all are ready to talk about food. As always, we are going to be discussing a bunch of stuff. And I'm excited to just talk about the things that we're going to be talking about, really. One, and I know it's going to seem kind of, well, I've talked about it quite a bit, but there is an event that's going to be happening this weekend that I am just so excited to having an opportunity to go to. And I spoke about it maybe a couple of weeks ago. May have even talked about it last week too. But as the time gets closer and closer, I really want to just kind of like bring it up because it involves chefs that are well, a chef, but other chefs within the city, specifically though one from St. Paul, and one that you know that I've talked about quite frequently, and that's Handsome Hog. But before all that, let me explain to you what this event is. The event is called Cochon 555, and like I explained probably weeks ago, Cochon is French for pork or pig, actually. And I don't know if you've probably seen it around town, maybe posters or maybe even commercials on television. But it's their tag is five pigs, five chefs, five pigs, and five winemakers. Basically, providing you an opportunity to have a food experience at Lowe's Hotel in Minneapolis. That will, if you are a lover of pork, you will totally understand what this is about, and be able to enjoy all the different types of preparations that these chefs are actually going through. Now, City Pages had a nice little write-up about it, and I just want to kind of touch on that a little bit to give you some information about when the Cochon is going to be. Cochon 555. It is February 19th from 4 p.m. to 8 p.m. And again, that's at the Lowe's Hotel. The address is 601 First Avenue North. Again, that's in Minneapolis. And if you want to find out even more detailed information and possibly get tickets, you could go to Cochon 555, and I'll spell that. It's COCHON as in Nancy 555.com. I know it sounds weird, but trust me. I have been following this for the past 3 years. 3 years. Following it, meaning that I've always wanted to go, never had the opportunity. Now, mind you, I have to say, and this is not, I'm quite sure that because of the price of the ticket or tickets, they are going to put on a wonderful spread. I have no doubt in my mind because of that. But I've been watching it for 3 years because I have been looking at the price and saying, man, can I do this? Can I afford this? But I knew that I really wanted to go this year, so I've been saving up. Yes, the Un-Bougie foodie saves up to do certain things, as sometimes we all have to. So in this case, the general admission ticket. Hold your breath, and hold on to the steering wheel if you're driving and you're listening to me. It's $125 for general admission and $200 for VIP. Um, yes, again, as I said, it's kind of steep, but the experience that you're going to have, I mean, I've talked to one or two other individuals that have attended this event, and that is, I think, what made me really want to, as they say, uh, pull that card out and make the decision to go. Uh, it's beyond compare from what I'm being told, and just the descriptions, the watching the videos. Again, watching this for a number of years, knowing that it's there and that I want to go to it. To well, this year was the year that I'm actually going. So I am looking forward to it. Be prepared for lots of pictures to be available. As you know, I take a lot of photos of food that places that I've gone to and that I've enjoyed. This is not going to be any different. If anything, it probably might be more. So I have to prepare my phone as well as my regular digital camera, because I am going to be taking photos and making sure to provide you all with all kind of a blow by blow, if you would, of the different plates that are going to be available for from each one of these chefs. And just to give you an idea, if you're not familiar with who these chefs are, you're never gonna you would never have to worry about being hungry or just getting a small piece or something. No. Um, Again, I'm going by others that have gone there, that I've talked to, and just I've reached out to just certain ones and said, hey, have you gone to this before? I really would like to find out a bit more about the event, so I could tell listeners on, in the community about the event and what they should expect. And one of the things that they mentioned was that you won't walk away from this hungry in any way, shape, or form. Again, with 5 chefs and them making preparation, different plates and different types of meal or items on the menu. That's what I'm trying to say. Items on on their menu, you have a wide variety to choose from. And some of the chefs, well, I'll just go through all of the chefs actually. Last year, as I mentioned, again, keep referring back to weeks when I've talked about it, but the current and reigning, as they say, Prince of Pork is Jorge Guzman of Surly Brewing. Again, he is one of the competing chefs. The next is Thomas Kim of Rabbit Hole, and I hopefully I'll have an opportunity to talk about Rabbit Hole, but I just recently had an opportunity to go to Rabbit Hole last week Saturday, as a matter of fact, and I was there. I was impressed. I mean, to just get some. We were there for an afternoon. Kind of, I was doing a volunteer meeting with some coworkers from my secular job, and I enjoyed what I had. I mean, it was happy hour time. Happy hour meaning not so much because of any drinks, but it was because the food, the lunch that we were having was definitely less than after happy hour. I'll say. So Rabbit Hole, in they're where they're located. We'll talk about that shortly. They're located in Midtown Global Market, but again, more information a little bit later. JD Fransky of the Strip Club, he's also going to be one of the chefs. Gray Nonas, apparently he was a chef that was at Soleil, but he is going to be there at the Cochon. And then lastly, but not least, is Justin Sutherland of Handsome Hog. And gosh, y'all know how much I talk about Handsome Hog as being an awesome place, especially in St. Paul itself. And to know that he has an opportunity where the restaurant is sending their head chef to compete. Yeah, this is one that I'm really going to enjoy, and I am going to be happy to talk about it next week, to bring you all of again, photos, descriptions, and so much more. Um, from what City Pages was actually describing, they put on an impressive spread of cheeses from St. Paul Cheese Shop. Um, Parma hams. They're going to be having at the event piles of Cochon or pig, just in every way possible. And they they use the description of one portion, or when you're doing portions of the pig, or even cutting up kind of like the bacon, or how do you want to say? I feel bad by just saying portions of the pig, but the cracklings. So you're cutting up portions of maybe a cut of the meat, and they're the smaller ends, but you use them to as the flavorings. And because you're really cooking it to draw out all of the natural juices that are coming from the meat itself, the meat starts to shrink and starts to get crispy. And that's what those cracklings are. But they said that there will be cracklings the size of a tabletop, which is very impressive, because normally cracklings are, again, they're small pieces. So, yeah, this is just going to be one that I'm going to be excited to see. And they keep mentioning, you're going to be full at this event. You're going to be full. It's going to be a party. I think of going to an event like this, just people talking and excited to see how the chefs are preparing the different pigs that they provided. And it's not just about that, but apparently there's some camaraderie. People go on a yearly basis. I am not one of them. This is my first time, so maybe my overexcitement is just because this is my first time. But I appreciate going to an event like this, and this is rare, very, very rare. But I appreciate going to an event like this because I know how much work that the chefs have actually been putting into making this preparation. And I only say that because in doing what I do and providing information to the community about new places and so forth, you get to learn about the chefs, what they do, how they make preparations of certain meals or menus. You start to follow them to just find out what they do on their day-to-day, schedule or lives. They'll probably post something on Twitter or on Instagram on what is new right now, or what you can enjoy today in the restaurant. So it's things like that that give me an opportunity to know what is actually going on and what they're doing. I know that, for example, with Handsome Hog, Justin Sutherland, he's funny. He's actually quite comical. Not in a goofy way, but just the things that he does. He makes his Instagram and posts very light and enjoyable to read. One that, hey, you want to follow this guy, you want to follow this chef because he's doing interesting stuff. And then to know that the food there at Handsome Hog is amazing. You see him actually and his staff preparing different cuts of meat. He's in their kitchen or preparation area with the full hog or pig on the table, and they're doing a job on the butchering the pig. But it's things like that when I know that help me appreciate going to these events, because they're putting so much work and effort into making this preparation and to even be at this event. I mentioned that these chefs are actually competing. They really are competing because, as I mentioned a few moments ago about Jorge Guzman, a Prince of Pork. So prince of pork or princess of pork, because it can be a man or a woman. Um, the chef that will actually be the reigning or crowned, if you would, um, that chef that has prepared uh, either a category of different menu items from that pig that surpasses all others. And this is actually a nationwide type of competition, because whoever actually becomes the prince or princess of pork here at the Cochon in Minneapolis will then go on to the Grand Cochon. And that is where all of the chefs, I believe it is 17 cities, if I'm not mistaken, that they're it's a tour, if you would, sort of somewhat. But each one of those chefs will then be at the Grand Cochon, and they will then have to compete to see who is going to be, I suppose, the king or queen, maybe. I don't know that far. I only know about the Cochon that happens in Minneapolis. So I have to do some more research on the Grand Cochon. If I'm not mistaken, I believe it is in Chicago. But again, lots of work that they're doing. I like how it's also being described, and maybe this is probably a very bad description, but it's people be so full that it's just going to be a sloppy. if you're Caribbean or you know what bacchanal is, yeah, it's going to be a sloppy party. It's going to be one where people will be most likely sitting down or slowly walking away from this event, wondering, what have I done? I hope to be one of those persons. It's not just talk about this event as though, again, it's just a party and so forth, but yes, it will be, but it's also for a good cause, because there is a difference between having, pork that is, or, yeah, I'll just say pork, or a pig that has not been properly cared for, and the consumption of these types of pork or whatever, or what have people questionable and thinking, okay, I can't eat pork because, well, for one reason or another, and I'm not talking about religious, but health-wise, they see perhaps pigs being given, if you would, or fed unhealthy scraps and so forth. That's not the case with heritage breed hogs. They're raised, they're on family farms, and the responsibility that these families have, they are held at a higher standard. And I think not just because they want that, not because they feel that they want the recognition, but because they feel that they have a responsibility to provide and feed a pig in a healthy manner, one that is not going to, anyone that's going to question and say, well, I don't really know what conditions this pig was in, or how, where they live, their pen. All of that at times is important to people. And with these heritage breed pigs and hogs, they are raised by families that take that responsibility very seriously. So when you do have these types of hogs or pigs, the product that you're getting is even more delicious than what you at times buy at your local grocery store. But we know that. I mean, we know that when we have things that are fresh, it tastes so much different. So different. And, that goes with meat as well. I mean, I was talking specifically about vegetables, but that goes with meat as well. So, to know that these heritage pigs are raised very at a higher standard, and these families take pride in them. I mean, consider it. I think with any, even when you go to like the state fair, think of the different types of animals that are there. Um, when they're saying that our prized pig or our prized cow or whatever product that they are providing, these families are taking that responsibility very seriously and to a level that they want to pass on to those that are the consumer, or in this case, chefs that they're providing their pigs to or their hogs to, so that they know that it's going to be high quality, that what they're fed, is not going to be something that's going to cause question for those that follow how animals are actually being treated. We talk so much in the news about, cage-free, the different types of chickens and eggs and so forth. I mean, it goes also towards areas of, pigs, cows, beef, if you would. Um, so those that have that interest and are worried about that, yeah, heritage breed hogs, uh, that's not something that you have to worry about. And it's I was just talking to a friend. So if you're out there, Mr. Story, Adam, I'm hoping you are going to be going along with me tomorrow. I just called him out. Yeah. You mentioned, or he mentioned, that either he knows a family or he has a family members that deals with heritage bred pigs or hogs, um, and could certainly attest to the different types of the quality of the meat, the flavor, and when you're doing either a roast or a pork loin, how the flavor, the texture is, it's phenomenal. I really do hope you get a chance to go to the Cochon along with me, Adam. So if you're out there and you're listening, please make sure you buy your ticket. On that note about tickets, yesterday was the day that I bought my ticket, and I was very surprised. I really was, because I know the year before I was just going out to see if tickets were available. And I think I probably did that probably a week or two prior to the event, and there were no tickets. I mean, every level. I mean, the general admission, of course, the VIP. I couldn't admittedly afford the VIP anyway, but it seems like the VIP is sold out first. It always seems to be that way. And then speaking about last year, the general admission was just totally gone, just all together. And so those were only the two types that were available. And I take that back, because there was another VIP one that was, I think it was the Grand VIP. Oh, that's what it was. Yep, it was $400. But see, that means that you have a multi-course dinner at a restaurant, and in this case, this year, it was going to be at Spoon and Table. So it's kind of like a pre-party, a pre-Cochon. Yeah, that one was definitely gone as well. I know I looked on when I purchased my ticket for this year. Yeah, the 400 was gone. The 200 was certainly gone. I was very surprised that the general admission for 125 was still available. So, like I said, you have to save up. Because we're on a budget here. We're certainly on a budget. Anyway, if you want to find out more information about the Cochon, as I talked about and mentioned at the beginning, you can find out that information online by going to Cochon555.com, and we'll tell you all the information that you really want to know. You'll even be able to see some videos that are available from past Cochon and other cities. So if you have the ability to go, and you never know, you might have a little bit of money saved up. Okay, I one of the reasons why I did decide to go to, I'm just a little off topic a little bit. You know, when you're single, you have a little bit more money, you could spend something on yourself. So rather than buying anything for myself, I decided I would save a little money and treat myself to this, knowing that I can actually talk about this and share this with you all at a later time. So, trust me, it's with a purpose why I do and attend events like this. Is because I really want to share it with the community. Um, Even if it is just to give you an opportunity, and we're not saying that, hey, you have to go to an event like this, but knowing that there are 5 different chefs from restaurants that are around the city, some that we've visited or that we've gone to or I plan to go to, except for Handsome Hawk, because I go there at least once a month. um, it'll give you an opportunity to see what type of meals, the preparation that a chef is is doing. I like to describe foods that I and plates that I get at restaurants very mouth-watering, and by sharing that with you, hopefully you'll get that urge to go out and take yourself or your family, your loved ones, out to dinner, even if it's once a month. It doesn't take a lot, or you could always cook it at home. That brings up a very good point. We're finding more and more people are cooking at home. I mean, what do you feel is your thoughts on cooking at home? Yeah, I would really love to find out that information from you. So, please make sure you visit my Facebook page. Maybe leave a comment about what your thoughts are on cooking at home versus going out to a restaurant. Number one, I mean, that I think of, and that's with whether you're single, married, uh, with children, with family. It does save you money. It definitely does save you money, because, and then too, your taste more than relying on what a chef or a restaurant might actually prepare. Because, mind you, yes, not every plate or item on a menu will be to your taste or to your liking. But cooking at home, just right amount of spice, seasoning that you would like to have in a dish. But it's always fun too, that swing of the pendulum, to go out and enjoy someone else's cooking. Why not? Wouldn't you agree with that? Somebody's got to agree. But please leave a message on my Facebook page. Leave a comment and tell me what your thoughts are. That's going to be a question for next week that I'm going to ask, and hopefully you'll be able to answer as well, or add some opinions too. What are your thoughts on about either eating out or cooking at home? In the meantime, social media that you could see what I'm doing, follow me if you would. Again, there is Facebook, and you can find me by typing in the Un-Bougie Foodie. There is Instagram, which is the_Un-Bougie Foodie. There's Twitter, which is at Un-Bougie Foodie. And then if you want to send a recipe, and maybe have that shared on, to the community on the show. Again, keeping in mind, this is a show for the community, within the community. Please send an email to theunbougiefoodie@gmail.com, and I'll make sure to share that with the community, and you'll get a shout out too. Who doesn't like to get a shout out? uh, I want to talk about now. There is, I don't know who likes sushi in the community, in the neighborhood. I know I don't know many people that don't like sushi, and I think it's that not so much that they don't like it at all. There are certain things that they will not have. So I can't really say that I know anyone that does not like sushi at all. I mean, that will not have any part of it. Uh, for me, I mean, I think there's only, well, I can't even say that. I was gonna say there's one thing about sushi that I don't like, um, but I still have it. It's the avocado. Now, you know how avocado is in just about every form of sushi, except for nigiri, which is just the sushi itself, um, whether it be the fish or the seafood piece on a bed of rice, a small little bed of rice. Um, yeah, the avocado, well, it doesn't agree very well with the Un-Bougie foodie. Let's just say that. But I will still have it, you know, it because I can't take it off or miss it from off of like a spider roll or a dragon roll. Uh, yeah, these different types of rolls. Yeah, I need to have it on there. I shouldn't have it, but that's neither here nor there. There is a newish sushi place in the east side of St. Paul. It is called Red Walk Sushi. It is located at 1626 White Bear Avenue North. They are open if you want to see their menu or see a little bit more about Red Walk. Their website is www.redwalksushi.com. Their hours are Sunday through Thursday, and this is for lunch. That's 11 a.m. to 2:30 p.m. And then for dinner, Sunday through Thursday, 4:30 p.m. to 10 p.m. So there's a break in between. Normally, and I think that's at any sushi restaurant. I think at least the ones many that I've gone to, they always seem to have a break on in the middle. So that difference or that time frame from, in this case for Red Walk, from 2:30 to 4:30, that's when they refresh all of their well, they change over from the lunch, the different types of items that they're offering for lunch. There might be a smaller for lunch rather than larger for the dinner size, but then also making sure that all the fish are fresh, the seafood that they're preparing is fresh. If they need to do pre-preparation to create the cuts of fish necessary for each one of the sushi menu items, that is actually done during that time frame. And it also gives the chefs and the staff an opportunity to have lunch themselves, have something to eat. But and on Friday and Saturday, it is from 11 a.m. to 1 a.m. So that's again Friday to Saturday. Friday, interesting. Why that? There's no break. But just know that those are their hours. But they are a newish sushi restaurant that is in your local area or in the neighborhood. Again, that's 1626 White Bear Avenue North. And it's being described as an Asian fusion with Chinese, Japanese, Thai, a sushi bar. And again, it's a dining spot that's currently in the neighborhood. In my research, use different types of items to find restaurants within your area, and I can appreciate the Dayton's Bluff newspaper or District Forum newspaper that comes out. So the writer mentioned how it's a wide variety of a cuisine. It's really Asian fusion, as I mentioned. All those Chinese, Japanese, Thai, um, and you could see that from the types of dishes that are on the menu. Um, they have fried rice. The next, this item, pad C. Um, I think at one point that maybe I didn't know what type of noodles it was, because when I had it, I think at a food tasting, it was simply described as pad thai. Um, but because it's called pad C, um, it's a different width of the noodle, and that's the only difference. So it's interesting to note that it's described as Thai wide noodles. So with pad thai, you know that the noodles are more round and definitely a thinner type of noodle, whereas pad C is again a wide noodle. I think it might be like half an inch thick, if I'm not mistaken. But I mean, it was just different. So keep that in mind. Don't get ex- surprised when you ask for, hey, do you have anything like pad thai? And they say, yeah, the pad C, and they bring you out the wide noodles. That's just the difference of the noodle. It's still the same taste. They have, gosh, they've got a number of different items that, and again, this is new, so I've not been there, but it's what is currently in the area. And if it's in your local neighborhood, visit them, because I'm looking at some of the items that they offer. I'm gonna see. This is where I need a correspondence. Gangkuwan, that's chicken with green curry and vegetables, and then there's sensei, which is squid and vegetables. And see, these seem so more with that Asian fusion, because the two owners, they have a Hmong background. So of course there's going to be the ever favorite lab, which is either in chicken. I have not had it in beef, so that sounds really interesting. Chicken, yeah, I live and die for chicken lab. Of course, they have different drinks there. So aside from, yes, they have adult beverages, but they also have regular teas and milk and so on and so forth. But they also have desserts. And I think I have had mochi. Is it mochi or mochi? Mochi ice cream probably one time, and just haven't had it again. I don't know why. Maybe because by the time I'm done with a meal, I don't want any dessert. I don't really want to force myself either. But they have mochi ice cream, rice cake, and green tea ice cream. I love green tea though. It's a palate cleanser, especially at the end of the meal. It's refreshing. It just tastes good. And typically, I don't like green tea. This is not a show about what I don't like. But when it comes to that green tea ice cream, it's quite delicious. Parents, you don't have to worry too, because they also have a kids menu. They have mac and cheese, crab sticks, and they have pho. So wide selection of things to choose from. Wide selection. Now, if you're not familiar with, there is a magazine, and you've probably seen it at CVS, Walgreens, Minneapolis, St. Paul magazine. Pick it up sometimes. Definitely pick it up, because not only will that give you some ideas of new restaurants in the area or across the cities, you'll find something, and you'll probably hear a more descriptive way describing the foods, or the restaurant, more detailed. Sometimes they go into detail of, the total atmosphere, extra, and that's not our purpose here on this show. This is to tell you about the food itself. Yes, I will kind of comment on the atmosphere and that it was nice and very homey or whatever. But for here, it's always about what the food looks like, what it tastes like, because that's what I'd like to focus on. But I mentioned that because this month's issue has been delivered, and it doesn't disappoint too, because on the cover it's listing best restaurants, hottest tables in town, the list you've been waiting for. Now, and that's when I should say it's 50 of them, and we're not going to go through all 50, but I will tell you about a few that you've probably heard me talk about in the past, that I've shared pictures on Facebook with, and there will be others that I have not gone to, but am looking forward to going to, because I know that, going through this list, I had to mark off an X a number of these where I was like, I need to go to this one, I need to go to this one. This one I've gone to. I liked it. So let's get started with it. I'm skipping, so I'm not going to tell you a particular number. But if you want, you could write a few of these down for yourself. I mentioned that one of the chefs that is in the Cochon is at at the Rabbit Hole. The Rabbit Hole. It's in the Midtown Global Market. Edgy menu, just like street food. So it's not going to be like these huge plates of food and so forth. They're small, very. If you want to just, they're not they're larger than appetizer size. But again, when you're saying street food, think of like a taco, a street taco, or from a food truck. The sizes are going to be sufficient enough for you to say, okay, that was really good. I'm not too full. I could probably have something else, but equate that to the Rabbit Hole and the different sizes that they have and that they're actually going to be serving. So again, that street cart type of vibe. Some of the things that they offer: salmon poke. I love the names. Van Dam good Brussels sprouts, that is, and with a bacon vinaigrette. There's brisket kimchi. Oh, not brisket kimchi, just brisket. And then kimchi. No, it is. It's brisket kimchi fried rice bowl. See, it's crazy. And then so many other different things on the menu. But again, they are located in the Midtown Global Market. I had, I think it was just kind of like a simple California roll. I think it came with like six pieces for $6. That was at the happy hour. Again, we were having a kind of like a business, volunteer business lunch or meeting, if you would. But I liked it. I enjoyed it. I actually have two orders of it, actually, because I don't know, maybe because I was hungry, but I think it's because I enjoyed it more than anything. But I think, if I recall, there was fried pieces of chicken on the inside. I mean, not huge pieces. These were, again, keep in mind that this was like a sushi roll itself, but the fried pieces of chicken were just the right size, and it wasn't too much that would overstuff the roll, or that the roll would come apart. So I had two of those. They were very good, quite good. Makes me want to go back and have more. But remember, they are in the Midtown Global Market. If you want to find out more information about the Rabbit Hole, please go to their website at eatdrinkrabbit.com. Again, that's eatdrinkrabbit.com. The next one I want to mention or bring to your attention Cook St. Paul. Uh, Cook St. Paul, shout out to you all. I love going there for breakfast. There is another place that I've talked about that I love going to, Neighborhood Cafe. But Cook St. Paul, they are on pain. I'm telling you, I think more and more patrons or just residents, either Minneapolis, St. Paul, just all over, they're noticing that St. Paul is, especially on Paine, is becoming a force to reckon with when it comes down to new restaurants or restaurants that are offering wonderful food. Cook St. Paul is no exception. Um, they are one of the ones specifically for breakfast that they mention, and I believe that they have certain different categories for each one of these. This specifically is for breakfast, but Eddie Wu, the pancakes that he offers, there is, I tasted their eggs Benedict, and I think they have two different types of eggs Benedict, but I just had one, and man, the hollandaise sauce is just so good. But it's a staple within on Paine. They offer a mac a mac and cheese, which is butter fried kimchi. Gosh, butter fried kimchi. That's wonderful stuff right there. There's Korean short ribs. And then on Friday, on certain Fridays, they normally have, I believe it is Lao food. It's almost like every certain weeks that there is, I think it's called SOO Lao. And I've mentioned that before, but which was surprising too, and I felt kind of bad because I had mentioned when I talked about the Lao pop-up, I've never had Lao food before. And Cook offers that on a Friday. I think it's at like 5:30 on 5:30 or 6:30 on Friday. And I don't think it's every Friday. But you could just certainly find out more information on that too. They again are listed as one of these 50 restaurants, best restaurants within the cities that you should visit. So that's Cook St. Paul. If you for more information, go to Cook STP, which is St. Paul, cookstp.com. They are located at 1124 Payne Avenue, and that's in St. Paul. Make sure you check out their eggs Benedict. I'm telling you, and it's a cozy place. It's not, by all means, it's not cramped. It's cozy. It's nice and small. It's warm in there too. So yeah, I love sitting by the window and enjoying, feeling the warmth. Make sure you go there and support your restaurants on Payne. You won't be disappointed, that's for sure. There is this past I have another event that I'm actually going to mention before my time with you all expires. But I was on a mission this past Wednesday. I was on a mission. I was on assignment. And you could see that picture of my assignment, sort of. Okay, not really of the assignment itself, per se. But I was in downtown Minneapolis. I was going to say downtown Los Angeles. Downtown Minneapolis. and I got off the light rail and went to a restaurant that I had been hearing so much about. And because I was on an assignment doing a project, working on a project, I felt I needed to get something to eat really quick. Um, so I stopped in at Mercury Dining Room and Rail, and that is one of the ones that is. It just happened to be one of the 50 restaurants. Now, again, I had gone there on Wednesday. I got this magazine in the mail on Friday. Yes, well, no, actually Thursday. I apologize. I got it in the mail on Thursday, so I was very surprised on going through it to see that one of the restaurants that I had just recently gone to was also in here as one of the best restaurants. Um, and they have an awesome snack bar. I think $5 ahi tuna sliders, $5 steak sandwiches. Um, there's and this I have not had, but I saw someone else having it and was thought it was kind of interesting. Kale dip and chicken wings. That was, you know, I was there a little bit later in the morning time, so like about 11:30. But I was like, wow, okay, well, interesting. They, of course, have cocktails for adult beverages. But again, I'm there about the food. I really am. And I love the fact that, it is a very unique place. I mean, there, it's connected to the SOO building, SOO building, in downtown Minneapolis. So if you've never been in that building, it's very Art Deco. But the actual Mercury dining room and rail, the restaurant portion, bar area, very very nice setting, very friendly staff, um, I, and the foods that they were offering, and that just those few things that I mentioned seem to be popular on their menu, as well as what people order. Um, I gotta say, I had their what's referred to as a Johnny Cake eggs Benedict. So it was a grilled spoon bread, which I didn't know what that was. Okay, from my standpoint, uh, Belizeans make a Johnny Cake that is flour, milk, water, the basic ingredients, whatever, to make kind of like a simple biscuit, if you would, and you bake it. Well, this is not the Johnny Cake that they're referring to. I saw it on their menu. I was like, Johnny Cake, eggs Benedict. So I had to ask, and it was more of kind of like a cornbread, if you would, but it was grilled. It was so buttery and tasty. And then, of course, there was braised pork, and then the actual poached egg, and mustard caviar, which I thought was quite interesting. And then, man, the house fries, the flavoring, the microgreens that it was served with, just the seasonings that they used on it, and it was with grilled bell peppers, and the bell peppers, they were soft enough, but they were not, totally wilted. So, yeah, like I said, talking about food, and I want to make it sound mouthwatering to you, and let you know that I enjoyed it. But Mercury Dining Hall, or Dining Room, and see, I've known it as Mercury Dining Hall and Rail. They have it indicated as Mercury Dining Room and Rail. Well, here they are located at 505 Marquette Avenue South, and that's downtown Minneapolis. To find out more information about Mercury Dining, dining hall. I wonder if they know that. It says Mercury Dining Room. You would go to Mercury MPLS, Mercury Minneapolis, the shortened version of Minneapolis, and you could find out more information about their menu, the prices. Very wonderful, awesome place. The items that they have listed for brunch, yeah. Uh, I think that I'm going to have to go there for a brunch on a Sunday, and hopefully some other friends that normally do brunch have not had the opportunity to go. It's not a competition. I just like to try to find places that they've not gone to and then encourage them to go. So, anyway, there are so many other restaurants that I could talk about and I could mention, like Revival, which, as you all know, is very popular. Have not had the opportunity to go to the one in St. Paul. Can you imagine? Because it's always full the time that I want to go. Anyway, it will happen. It will happen. Oh my goodness. Thank you all so much. We are at the top of the hour. I really want to say again thank you for joining me on this wonderful Saturday morning. Tune in next week. I will have information about the Cochon and photos and descriptions and sharing all of that information with you, my listening audience. Visit again my Facebook page on at the Un-Bougie Foodie, and look out for different photos on Instagram as well. As always, as I end every show, I want to thank you all for listening to this show on WEQY 104.7, the voice of the East Side. I want to encourage you, never let anyone tell you what kind of foodie to be, because really, it's all about the food. Until next time, people, peace.